I want to tell you a story, and it's true. In the late 90s, Nicaragua was still recovering from the war. Gangs were everywhere, and this one kid, was caught up in the storm. He and his friends were pursuing a life of violence when one Young Life leader in their neighborhood met him in the streets and invited him to a Young Life camp. At camp, the gospel was presented, and when this kid heard that the stone was rolled away from Jesus' tomb, he ran back to his cabin crying. And his same leader from the neighborhood who brought him to camp sat with him as this kid's heart was opened to Jesus. From that day on, that one kid was discipled and began dreaming of a different future for all the other kids in his neighborhood. And the fruit, over 3 decades later, is that approximately 50 ministries have been started in Nicaragua, flowing out of that one neighborhood. One leader, one kid, a stone rolled away from the tomb. Since the 60s, stories like this have been happening in Brazil, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, and beyond. Leaders, moved by the Holy Spirit, have raised their hands to say, "Send me." And today, Young Life has ministries in 26 different countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. That's hundreds of Young Life leaders befriending thousands of kids and introducing them to Jesus. But I want to back up. It wasn't until the 2010s when the vision for reaching the next kid through the local leader really took hold of us. It was a specific moment during a large leadership meeting when a senior leader asked a room full of local leaders, "Do you have a kingdom dream for a place?" Hands went up all over the room, names went down on paper, and plans for sending leaders formalized at a new level. That's when we began realizing that God had a plan that was flowing from the ground up to reach the next kid. We needed to lead this way and look for the Holy Spirit's movement. Let leaders be grasped. Encourage leaders to step into that space. In other words, we recognized that it wasn't us driving the vision. In reality, these were disciples of Jesus who were praying, listening, and ready to go. And as leaders, we were there to support this movement. You know what happened after that meeting in LAC? Things blew up. Ministry spread from 11 countries to 26 countries, from 110 neighborhoods to over 700 neighborhood ministries. We began adopting simple practices to shape and guide leaders. The dream map, written on a piece of paper that every volunteer leader carries. They can pull their map out of the backpacks and wallets and show you the places they're praying about, trying to get to. And the leader tree, a beautiful representation of the kids and other leaders who are being discipled and are discipling others. As the tree grows, new branches form. The next kid becomes the next leader, and new dreams grow. But let me be clear about this. The map and the tree do not always lead to greener pastures. The places our volunteer leaders go are hard. There is real pain, deep suffering, economic and political instability. In every country in Latin America and the Caribbean, there are unique cultures, contexts, and challenges for leaders to navigate. They're going there not because someone simply told them they had to. They step in and keep going to kids with hope because they themselves have been rescued, and they have been invited to be disciples who go. What I'm trying to get across is that these students, young adults, moms, aunts, uncles, and business people are orienting their whole lives, yes, even their free time, to see kids set free with the gift of God's grace. I'm not telling you a story about experts and professionals managing a process or strategy. No, this is bottom-up, volunteer-led, on the ground, in the neighborhood. These are ordinary disciples doing extraordinary things. These are the kids next door, loving the kids next door. This is the risen Jesus doing his beautiful and gritty work through his normal, redeemed people. And as a ministry, as a leadership team, local and not local, close and far, we are prayerfully trying to keep pace alongside what God is doing through these local leaders. We together are waiting on the Holy Spirit to keep going. This is an audacious vision, but it belongs to the Lord. And if it belongs to the Lord, it belongs to every one of us. If you're watching this, our leaders are inviting you into this too. It's an invitation to join us, to jump in, enjoy, to keep pace with what God is doing through the local Holy Spirit-led leader in Latin America and the Caribbean as more kids are reached with the good news of Jesus Christ.